every now and then a game comes along, Kyle, that you instantly think, that's a really good idea for a video game.
Yeah.
That's really clever. Like, to make that experience interactive, that sounds really cool. And then the second thought you have is, yeah, but that could be weird. That could also not work as an actual game. You know, like, it's good as an idea for a game, but then, like, wow, how's the actual game? And so this game, that's like the first question I have is like, how is this game?
You framed this perfectly. Chroma Squad is a game in which you are directing your own Power Rangers TV show, essentially. You're picking your cast, you're picking your costumes, you're going through the episodes, you're doing the fights.
And who wouldn't want to do that?
Who wouldn't want to make your own Power Rangers show?
I think when I was watching the Power Rangers, I think I probably thought, like, I would way more want to just get costumes and hang out with my friends and make videos of us, like, pretending to be Power Rangers than actually be a Power Ranger. If I had to choose those two things, being a Power Ranger looks really stressful. You know,
of
it's like you got all your homework to do and everything, and like
you can't tell a soul.
But just being on set in stupid costumes, and I mean, they do all the fight choreography in Japan, so they just ship that over.
They do a little. You got to know your stuff.
Do they handle that way? It's literally like, or like the actors shot in one country and all the stunts are done in like another country.
No, that would make sense, but no. They were the stunt people on another show, and they all said, "Come on, let's go make our own show," and that's like where the story starts.
And then,
my favorite part of the game, honestly, the time I was having the most fun is when you're casting the people. Because they all have different stats and they all have different roles on the team, you change their colors. So like I made a Power Rangers team that was like primarily like black, gray, brown, light teal, and white. And so it was like a really weird, like just very muted Power Rangers team. And so that was cool to me. I got to name them. I gave them really cool names. And actually, this leads into, oh my gosh, no, sorry, still having a blast at this point, is you also get to name like what it means for them when they morph. So like
emotionally?
No, like I made that be cool. And so it's like, guys, it's time to be cool. Okay. And so then like they all morph, Okay. And you like name the name of their Megazord, you name the name of their team. They were the Never Surrenderers. And so I made this cool team of people called the Never Surrenderers. And they would like come in and they said, "Fear our fearlessness. Time to be cool." It's like things like that. That's what I'm super on board for.
So this is kind of like The Sims, where like building the character and picking their wants and everything is great, and then you actually get into The Sims and.
Almost the opposite. You go in and then those characters you created aren't really yours. This story is never really yours. So imagine if. So this is where it gets conflicted, is you're never actually really making an episode. You are kind of like, you're doing fights. You're doing like, it's kind of cool. It's turn-based. It's kind of like a turn-based strategy game, the way that the fights work down. You choose which enemy you want to go fight. You're on a grid. You can do team-up attacks, which are very cool. But everything sort of falls apart at the moment where you're like actually playing the game. You're like half making an episode, but then half of the stuff of like the game story is just like, yo, that brain, that like the Zordon of this is actually like a real thing. And so there's like actual real magic at play here. And it actually honestly interrupts what the game should have been probably trying to accomplish. And because basically it's like, you're playing one mission. I'll just explain one mission. You start it, you beat up some guys, and then one member of your team says, "Hey, I have a dentist appointment today, I have to go." But that person's name is the same as the character's name that I named of my Mighty Morphin team, the Never Surrenderers. What was his name? It was like Ugly Fame. Fame Ugly. So Fame Ugly said, "Hey, I have to go, bye." And it's like, wait, so is Fame Ugly the name of the guy who's going to go to the dentist? And then so some fan teleports in and says, "Hey, I'm a big fan of the show. Now I'm going to be on the show now. And now I'm this thing." And then you do fight more guys. And so it's this weird thing of like, what's real? And I'm sure people enjoy that. I'm sure people are turning off and be like, none of it's real, man.
Right.
Just play the game. Enjoy it. But to me, it's like, no, I really want to worry about my studio. I really want to worry about like my budgets and all these things.
It's an interesting line. Yeah, it's like how you want to set up this, you want to present this setup for, this comedic game, but at the same time, it's like I do think it's funny, and I am invested because I am into these characters, and you're giving me the choice. But at the same time, you're saying the choice doesn't really mean that much.
Yeah.
And it's something. Yeah, I think Kyle, you and I, at GameTrailers in the industry and on the planet Earth, are one of the few people that actually like get really, really bothered whenever that line kind of sways in one direction, and we're just like, I'm not sure. You lost me at the point where I should have stopped caring about this.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
It's like MPA needs to come up with like a meter for like we're only get to around 7 at that meter. Like that's when you turn your brain off.
What do you think about when games and
like
text...
a QuickTime event, little brain logo in the corner. It's like stop thinking. And you're like, oh, thanks, okay.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's a good idea. What do you think like in text, in like written text, when they put like a smiley face at the end? That gets me big time. And I realize like I'm looking at tiny little characters, but like to me that like really like
if they were
cheapens
typing,
dialogue.
of course, yeah. But if
Right.
they're talking, they should say smiley face. If the character said smiley face, then I'd be
The character
I'd be
did
way
not
down.
say smiley face.
No,
It's it's
I liked in hello, what was it called? Shovel Knight, when you'd have the text would like move up and down or shake, or like
yeah, that's good stuff.
one letter would be like colored, like he'd be angry and it'd be red, or like the characters would always like the bad guy, the boss with the purple outfit was purple every time people would say her name.
And you know I love Shovel Knight because it never winks, and
Right.
Chroma Squad is nonstop.
Supposedly,
winking.
I gotta get the shovel out and really dig in there and find a wink. I'll tweet it to you when
If
it
you
happens.
do,
Like,
yeah, it'll
this
break
is-
my heart.
This is clearly a wink,
Don't
Kyle.
show me that wink. But Chroma Squad is like it's a funny game that is never funny. It is it's humorous writing, but never like okay. Actually, no.
And it seems like it's setting up to be. Like it seems like it needs that, or it seems like that's the direction it wants to go in.
There's a line that I actually love big time. The director says, "I never want to hear you say I want it that way," and that is actually a reference to Backstreet Boys lyrics. So like. Referencing cool lyrics, I don't have a stomach for. Referencing Backstreet Boys lyrics is very funny to me. But then, it's referenccy. It's
I think the
referencey
Backstreet
game.
Boys are very cool, Kyle. So I don't know if I trust your opinion of the comedy in this game.
Okay, we have a conflict here.
We're just talking about opinions here, really, Kyle. I mean, the game is definitively not funny.
Yeah.
One final question: how's the game? Is it tough?
It is tough.
Do they level up? Do you get better at it? Like.
Yeah, you do level up, and yeah, I like the mechanics of that stuff a little bit. But generally, the toughest thing is like the director is just like defeat these many enemies in this many turns, and sometimes that's going to be impossible because the enemies are like they have laser guns and they're faster than you, and you just can't possibly catch up to them. But other times, it's always good to have like little motivators, and yeah, you can level up. You can spend it's about choosing which way to spend your money, and that's the stuff I like. I like all that. I think that once you get that QTE and the little brain says turn it off, you're into this. You're into your team. You're having a good time.
So it sounds like if you enjoy laughing or thinking, maybe take your time. Maybe wait for a discount or something like that, and then you can check it out. But if those two things don't bother you,
no, I think if you turn the thinking off, you're gonna laugh.
Okay. All right, I'll buy it. Does that work for you? Is that your secret?
No, because I can never turn the thinking off. That's the thing.
I'm sorry,
I can't
Kyle.
turn it off. Just
bane of your
too full of
existence.
anxiety. Yeah.
Too big of a brain. Big brain on Kyle.
Yeah,
It's ruining your life.
Very big brain. You gotta understand. I got a very Chroma Squad. My brain is too big for this game. The Never Surrenderers. It's very intelligent satire. You would understand it if you had a big brain.
Was your show? How would your show do, Kyle? Do you think?
That's the thing. I wish that it's me having more control of the show.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, my show would be so smart. The Never Surrenderers would be so like people would be like, gosh, this is.
Like seeing a show from a distance that you don't really have control over, and it's just kind of spiraling out of control and not really performing well. It doesn't really get to where you want it to get. I've had that feeling, Kyle.
I've never had that feeling.
Good.
I can't say I had that
Good
before.
for you, Kyle.